All right, is this better? You never heard what I said before this, right? I feel like the Anglican minister whose mic was on and he was not on, and he kept talking. Then he looked up and he said, "Something is wrong with this mic." And they all couldn't hear him, and they responded, "And also with you." You probably have not gone to Anglican churches. The Lord be with you. Okay. As we approach this last of the 8 Beatitudes, we will see why they asked me to pick this. This is my 10th day away from home. I stayed a whole weekend for the graduation and stayed on and finished correcting 600 papers. This is what happens when they say they'll use you and they abuse you. But also I was with you, was it Sunday? And so I'm glad I have a home away from home. And thank you, all of you who came by and thanked me. I knew I'd going to win the mums over that day. I was surprised also the many who knew about the 3 women in my life that I presented, missionaries, namely Amy Carmichael Amma from Donavo Fellowship, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, and then, of course, Pandita Ramabai. I think the third a lot didn't know about. But these are powerful women. It's nice to hear the voices of women who were literally channels of blessing to mediate grace through families, to change society from the inside out, from the bottom top. And we need that as carriers of culture of Christianity. Today, as we look at the 8th blessing, you would find that there's actually embedded in this beatitude a double blessing. Twice the word makurios, or most blissful, is used in terms of a particular category. It narrows from being blessed, all those who are persecuted, and then to blessed are you when. And although the blessing is distributed, the focus surely is on a particular type of people. So let me, perhaps for the last time, maybe we will have a summary of this, I'm sure, the next time. But let me read the Beatitudes for us for maybe one last time. And we'll see it in its sequence. Here we see that Jesus, he sees the crowds, so he goes up to a mountain where his voice would carry, and then he sits down, a posture of rabbinical teaching. This perhaps with the last sermon on the plain, on the eschatological realization of the kingdom, last days, and the upper room discourse from John 13 to 17. This is the only other place where Jesus formally taught. Jesus, usually, as I mentioned on Sunday, his operatus moderandi was through parable and miracle. That's how primarily Jesus communicated. He told stories. But this is one time where he sat and they came to him, and then he here formed his mouth, as it were, to, in an oratory way with rhetorics, to pronounce what it means to belong to the kingdom. So I've entitled this whole section, "The Blessing of Suffering." It seems paradoxical, almost ironic, when you think about the blessing of suffering. But let me read this to us. And he taught them, formally saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs alone is the kingdom of God. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they alone shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst," and here's an important word, "for righteousness' sake, because they alone will be filled or fulfilled or satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." Wow. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons and daughters of God. Now he says in verse 10, after peacemakers come troublemakers. He says, blessed are those who are persecuted. He doesn't stop there. The qualifying phrase is persecuted for, here's the word, righteousness' sake. For theirs alone belongs the kingdom of God. Did you notice the first and the last beatitude have a direct possession of kingdom? The word kingdom is used for the poor in spirit. And as it were, bookending the section in between and sandwiched between these two blessedness are certain features of those who are citizens of the kingdom that Jesus is promising. Then he gives this double blessing in verse 11. Again, he reiterates, Markurios, most blissful, sublime are you when men revile you and they persecute you. Here, persecution is defined by way of verbal abuse. And they do this by uttering all manner of evil against you and doing it falsely. Here's the key, for my name's sake. On my account. Now here's what the exhort, he says, cheer up, be glad, rejoice. Now he could have said once, rejoice, but he uses the superlative and be extremely, exceedingly glad. Wow. For so, why are we so exceedingly glad? Because we are in good company. For so persecuted they the prophets who were before you. I almost wanted to entitle this sermon, Being in a Good Company with Great Benefits with Dividends That Are Out of This World. I said that once on a flight sitting next to somebody. They asked me, and they told me who they work for, so some fancy international, multinational company. And they asked me, what do you do? So I said, I work for the largest organization in the world. Oh, he said, really? I said, yeah. He said, what do they do? I said, international real estate. Now he's really confused. I almost said headquarters in Rome, then he'll be confused. So I said, listen, I'm a minister, I'm a servant of Jesus Christ. We will inherit the earth, as it were, but this world is not our home. Now, there's something about being in good company, in this company, with some great benefits, blessing. And I want to tell you, literally, the dividends are out of this world. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to request them to shut the video off for a short time so it's not broadcast. When I heard that we'll be praying